Dear all, welcome to the course on Design and Graphics. Today, let us discuss about the role of design in journalism, titled as Design and Journalism. This course gives an outlook on the role of design in journalism, especially in newsmaking. In this module, the intrinsic relationship between journalism and design in various mediums like print, television and new media is discussed holistically. The major topics discussed in this module are relationship between design and journalism, the form of design and journalism, creating an idea of design among journalists, design methods in journalism, the classic case of design and the Hindu newspaper, specifics of design in journalism, graphic journalism. The subject expert for today is Professor F.B. Khan. He is a renowned photographer and media expert currently teaching at AJK MCRC, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. And I am Sakshi Mandwal. Relationship between design and journalism. Gone are the days where journalism is mere boring piece of information. The tough competition in the market has made journalists and media houses to come up with newer ideas for attractive presentation of their news stories. Design provides the background for giving attractive stories. It is not that design is a new area in journalism. Ever since the first newspaper, there was specific design that was followed in journalism. At times, designs also act as identifiers of specific media outlet. Let's discuss in detail the role of design and journalism. Design is like an open-ended book left for the interpretation of its audiences. A piece of design can be conceived to two-dimensional format, three-dimensional format and even as a big installation and up to as a performance. The relationship between journalists and design occurs on a daily basis. The medium to choose, platform to be engaged are all myriad forms of relationship between design and journalism. The entire platform of design gives idea to a journalist with regard to decision making. According to Catherine D'Ignazio, design in journalism should not be confined only as a layout. An overall thinking about the system of journalism must be thought with this relationship between design and journalism. The everyday issues a journalist faces while reporting, from domestic violence, gender issues to protests and politics, can be conveyed easily using design. Remember, writing 1,000 words article may not be effective as giving just one graphic, which could be an image, design, graphic, and so on. The complexities of issues are addressed by design. A strong relationship between the journalists and the designers defines the problem and can change the entire narrative of storytelling in journalism. Design can make it a serious issue, a normal one, and even to an action-oriented one. The problem definition task is often felt as difficult by the designers. If journalists can work hand in hand with them, the story can have good design output. The form of journalism and design. It is a bit unusual to discuss about form in journalism. In the age of digital news dissemination, the form of a journalistic story matters as same as to its content. The design methods can actually make content viral or popular. For example, suppose you are covering the issue of fluoride contamination in Adilabad district of Telangana state that has displaced many Adivasis and indigenous population. This story is something that has been reported numerous times and is still waiting for action. In that case, what will be more effective? Depending upon your target audience, a designed content will have more impact than a long form narrative style. A content made with the help of visual graphics can actually make you reach audiences who are not having literacy in written language. Whereas a content written in long form narrative style will not be read by everyone, and only readers proficient in written language will be able to understand what it is meant in that. Depending upon the resources available in your newsroom and the accessibility of platform, decision can be made regarding the relationship between design and graphics. Let us take the case of these two images published in the New Indian Express on 12th March 2018. This is regarding the horrific fire which happened at Theni, Tamil Nadu, that took the lives of many trekkers, including women and children. If the first image is given only, the sense of the fire will be availed to the reader, whereas the graphic content given including the map gives precise information regarding the geographical area to the reader, giving more impact to the news story based on factors of proximity and timelines of the story, creating an idea of design among journalists. If you are covering the beats of crisis or war, there will not be enough time to make exact decisions of what design to be given and what graphics to be selected. If it was before 30 or 40 years, the decision making would have been easy for the journalist. In those days, the journalist was supposed to do the making of a story, do research for the story, and need not be bothered about the story placement and so on. Gone are the days where the journalist can be relaxed after writing a story. The emergence of new media has made the gap between the reader and the content less, decreased to an extent that opinions on stories are given on the spot in the form of comment section. It is in this lessened gap that designing should find a way or niche in journalism. Design methods in journalism. In this section, let us discuss some popular design methods and their role in journalism. Systems thinking. Systems thinking are a popular design idea in journalism. In this kind of design, the designers consider things in a whole, as their objects of design not existing in isolation but together in human systems. This is applicable to news stories as well. Conceiving every news story as a system is the backdrop of this idea of design. Words, content, places mentioned in story, conversations, dialogues are all embedded in these stories. Experimentation. Another popular design method is experimentation. The art of experimentation is left to you, and you can be the designer of the same through iteration. At times, the above mentioned traditional task of making content and its integration can be difficult for the designer. The various ideas of designers and designing, from prototyping and testing ideas, ranging from rapid ethnography, co-design to paper prototyping, constitutes the experimentation technique involved. Trial and error method must be done while doing the experimentation method, as the investors of money should not be laid down. Content like the one given above shows serious concern regarding the gender issue at work and the pay gap existing in current workplaces. It speaks more precise and concerned than an aesthetic picture like the one given below. The form and content. The alignment of form and content is of serious concern with regards to designs. Designers may find it difficult to apply various tactics with regard to content and form of various platforms and mediums. As in, you cannot choose Twitter as a platform for a story of more than 280 as of 2018. One must be careful enough to make sure that the designers are following the form content ideas, as news is accessed through different platforms these days. Engagement of designers. An expansive thinking on the issue of design makes out the relationship between various mediums like social media that has changed the relationship between audience and newsmakers. Every activity of the newsroom is currently engaged with the audience. A collective work between the audience or the reader, depending upon the medium of the media, the designer and the journalist, is sought in these times. The strategic and systematic connection between the field of journalism and design must be sought. What do audiences sought in terms of design must be asked from the audience itself. The classic case of design and the Hindu newspaper. The Hindu is a prominent newspaper in India published in English. It is still considered as a trusted source of news even in these times of fake news, propaganda and puffery. The Hindu was designed by the Spanish designer Mario Garcia and was using the same design for many years, being precise from 2005. But as Kasturi and Sons, the family that owns the Hindu newspaper, decided to make it more professional and give a lesser outlook to the family-owned business. Thus, Siddharth Vardarajan was appointed as the in charge. A design change was sought by Vardarajan and appointed Deepak Harichandan as the in charge. The readers started writing emails and snail mails to the newspaper among the chic new design. It was literally impossible to find news and text in the newspaper as it was filled with graphics, pictures and designed contents. From the above given pictures, one can see the difference. It was more like a widespread outrage from the part of the readers. The major changes were in the banner panel, story slugs, and even in the iconic blue color of the paper. The removal of banner panels and story slugs were difficult for the readers to digest. The important section of the short take was taken from the right side to the left. It was named as briefly. There were changes in the front as well. Even the colors were changed to beige. The tagline, India's national newspaper since 1878, was also not spared, with the color changed from the blue that defines the Hindu in itself to red. People even confused as if the Hindu was going to follow the Life of the Times of India or the New Indian Express. The designer had the intention to take the Hindu beyond the traditional outlook and make it more modern, whereas the readers wanted to get the old one back. In academia, especially in the Western-oriented ones, one can actually see that there are attempts to combine journalism and design courses. Will that be an advantage to the journalists, or will it create more of a troubling workload to the journalists? These are two different fields with different outlook and approach, and bringing them together will be a complex task in itself. But one can assure that a new wave in journalism will happen if it is brought together. Specifics of design in journalism. The designs in newspaper are based on its layout. There will be specific layouts for every newspaper, and depending on this, pages are designed in newspapers. The division of pages vertically is called columns. The column size in different newspapers changes, and generally, newspapers have about 8 columns of 4 centimeters width each. These divisions are made by line spaces consisting of blank white space between two collections of text. These white spaces are called gutters. The major purpose of gutters is to separate the news items and to ensure the readability of the newspaper. At times, even advertisements follow this practice. It can be seen by a close observation of the same. The width is measured by columns while the height is measured in centimeters. These measures are used to calculate the cost in terms of column and centimeters while advertising in newspapers. Depending upon the newspaper, there will be less number of columns. The width of every column will be higher depending on the context. Similar to newspapers, there are specifications for magazines as well. The sizes of the pages are fixed. The print area size is also fixed along with the page sizes. The artwork, designs and layout should follow this. This will be definite areas known as print areas. It is the border or margin left outside of the area of artwork, and every newspaper and magazine possesses such areas. No printing will be done till the extreme end of the paper. Based on these factors, the designing must be done in the print medium. The choice of layouts must be done wisely. A layout defines the placement of given text and suitable images on a given surface area, which could be a print or even broadcast. There are different types of layout and can be classified into 3 categories: text dominant, image and text dominant. Text-dominated layouts have more quantity or large size of text. Such kind of layouts will be dominated by the text. The headline could be used in large display fonts from the layout point of view. It can occupy more area if that is able to create the desired effect. Image-dominant layout are visible usually in daily newspapers and magazines. When the picture of a celebrity or a major incident like an accident becomes important than the text layouts, these layouts are used. Automobile advertisements are also classic examples for this. While designing for broadcast medium, always make sure to adhere to the timing of the broadcast. The design should not exceed the broadcast time. Graphic journalism. What is graphic journalism? Graphic journalism uses graphs and designs for information dissemination. Diagrams are used to illustrate the information in graphic journalism. These graphs are supported with text. It is not that the graphic journalist needs to be exclusively a designer. She must be both a good writer and a good designer to handle these. A backup is done by graphics journalism to add and substantiate information. A particular area of story is undertaken by graphics journalists and combined to form graphics and diagrams. Additional ground research and reporting is done so that the story is further extended. Precision and accuracy is the most important feature of graphic journalism so that the final output, which is the impact of a story on its audience, is ensured. Some of the examples of tools in graphic journalism include bar charts, line charts, and pie charts. There are specific principles to be used regarding the application of diagrams according to the nature of the news story. Another major area of using graphics is maps. Maps are used in broadcast journalism as well. Maps are one of the oldest forms of visual aid used in visual communication. Cartographers are the designers who produce maps. Introducing geographical location, resources are all done with the help of maps. There are different types of maps like physical map, political map, and so on. Care must be taken to ensure that the audiences are not bombarded with details while maps are used. The conventions of map making, its rules and regulations must be followed if it is made for media use. The basic idea of map making, like the top part of map points to north, end part to south, etc., must be followed. A proper observation must be done by the graphic journalist while using maps. Else the repercussions of not following the rules of map making can be bigger and end you up under prosecution. Another major graphic materials used in journalism are graphs. Graphs are some visual aids used since the time immemorial. The relationship between different quantities is shown by using graphs. Examples of graphs are bar graphs, line graphs, pie graphs, and scatter plots. The visualization of statistics can impact, persuade, and influence the audience easily. The cluttering of graphs should be avoided and do not make it too complex, as all audience may not have the ability to comprehend them. Diagrams also constitute a major part of design and journalism. The intrinsic details of the data spoken by a user are explained using diagrams. Diagrams are mostly constructed in sciences. It is one of the traditional and most effective mediums of visual communication. The perfection of a diagram must be maintained while addressing audiences. Some important ideas to be followed in graphics journalism. In the age of data journalism, graphic journalism is really important. Important information cannot be written in narrative form to ensure an impact on audience. If your research involves lots of numbers, graphics journalism is the solution for you. A skill of visual orientation must be inculcated by the journalists. The presentation of information can be done in a pleasing manner with the help of graphic journalism. The information given in a graphic journalism must be accurate and precise. There should not be complex graphs and diagrams. Care should be taken with regards to the purpose and content of the report while using graphics journalism. Design should pave way to ease of functioning of the message. A graphic journalist should not be laid down even if he or she is not able to handle software. Ultimately, it is the visual orientation that matters. If misinformation is given in graphic content, that can lead you into serious trouble. The quality of printing paper must be taken into consideration while dealing with graphics, especially in newspapers. While making a two-dimensional graph may feel as three-dimensional to the reader, care must be taken for not altering the meaning and message of the graph. Similar to journalistic writing, simplicity must be ensured for graphics used in journalism. Location details, numerical, process and content must be taken care while using graphics and design. The rules of specific forms of pie, line chart and map must be followed. Remember that not every story requires a graphic to sound it even more serious. At times, even stories written with words will have a bigger impact. Charts can be made with the help of programs like MS Excel. It is a popular spreadsheet program. The chart wizard option can be used for making charts with the help of Excel. In press agencies like Associated Press, there are specific departments that deal about graphic journalism. Never clutter data in graphic journalism. Always ensure enough white space while making the diagrams. There are standard measures of data that can be included in a chart. A line chart should not have more than 3 lines of data. A pie chart should not have more than 6 or 7 sections at most. Always ensure to give an explainer box. The text under the headline is the explainer box. It helps to read out the information to the reader. Things to take care while using design in graphics and journalism. The genre of the message must always be taken care of. The chances of using graphics and design for soft news is really low. Selection of picture or image must be done based on the type of news story. The process and paper on which the designs will be reproduced must always be taken care of. The amount of text and its size must be determined according to the medium of publishing or broadcast. The positioning of the layout must be taken care of. Whether the layout will stand alone like a poster or compete with others in surrounding environment like in a newspaper. The orientation of graphics and design is of utmost importance. Vertical orientation is mainly used in newspapers, magazines, books and journals. Horizontal orientation is mainly used in hoardings, banners and signboards and vehicle graphics. Depending upon the genre of publication, medium and budget, design must be taken care of. Conclusion. Hope you all had a good time learning the module on design and journalism. In this module, we studied the practical application of design with specifics to journalism. The role of design in print and broadcast media is discussed in this module. A special focus is given to graphic journalism as design is an integral part of this field. The case study of a newspaper which went back to using the older design after a design revival is also discussed. Towards the end, measures to be taken care while using design and journalism is detailed. That is all that we had for you in this episode. Till the next time, it's a goodbye.